Hi there! Well, today's video is going to be a get ready with me. I'm going to be sharing with you how I put together this easy everyday fall look that I've been loving lately. I warn you in advance, I got a little bit chatty with this. I've already done the makeup portion of this video and I added in a few things I don't normally show on camera, like my foundation routine, so this is a little bit longer than I would like for it to be, so please forgive me for that, but I do hope that you enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the look. I already have my brows filled in. I use my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. I have some moisturizer on my skin. This is the CeraVe PM lotion that I like to use. I have a little bit of lip balm on, my favorite lip seal, and let's see what else. My eyelid primer. So my primer is, let's see, this is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, the anti-aging version. So I'm going to start by laying down my first eyeshadow. So for this look, I'm going to be using Urban Decay Tease. This is a really pretty cool medium brown type of color. I think it's really pretty for fall. I think you can pair both warm and cool colors with it, which is what I really like about it, but it's just very neutral, very pretty. This is a matte shade. I've really been enjoying using this flat shader brush. This is a little bit more dense and short bristles. It doesn't matter which brand you use, of course. This happens to be the Sigma E55. I've also got a Sephora brush that's similar, so I just feel like this does a really good job of packing on the color, and this does go on not sheer, but not quite as intense as I would like, but this little brush does a really good job of helping with that. So I'm just going to take a little bit here and start packing this on my eyelid. Tap off some of that extra. And I'm just going to start down here first and then slowly blend this up into my crease. So I'm just going to tap that in. Work my way around. I usually have to go back into the pan a couple more times for this. And then I'm going to slowly work that up into my crease. I also like the angle that this brush creates when I'm trying to do a little bit of a lift here at the corner. I feel like this does a good job. It makes it a little bit sharper, which helps sort of draw my eye up a little bit, but I do blend it out, of course. A little bit more on here. So you can see this is just a really pretty color. This would be great for a day look, a night look, an office look. I like my looks to be really, really versatile. I always think you can add a little bit more to it at nighttime if you want to, but if you wanted something that was daytime appropriate for every occasion, I like my looks to do that as well. Alright, so I'm just going to start bringing this up a little bit more. I'm going to kind of show you what I mean. So what I do is I've been bringing this up into the crease as I'm blending it, but I kind of like to just go straight out here at the corner to make that little sharp definition, but just here at the edge, and that's going to bring it up just a little bit, and then I'll blend with my transition color. But just like doing that, and because this is really flat and thin, it makes it very easy to do that. And we'll soften all that out at the end. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. Okay, so I sort of have the intensity that I want on both eyes with this first shadow color. I did want to mention really quickly, because this brush can be a little bit stiff and dense, if you're more comfortable, you can just use this to lay the color down on your lid and then use something a little bit fluffier. This is these are one of my freebie brushes. This is the E25 blending brush from Sigma, but there's a lot of different versions of this. And you can use this to go into your crease. It will make it a little bit less harsh than this is right now, even though we're going to blend this out. But I know sometimes those shading brushes can be a little bit hard to work with in your crease, so if you want, you can just use this to sort of blend up and fade that color out. It will make blending later on a little bit easier too. Next, I'm going to put down my highlight shade, but instead of using what I would normally gravitate toward, like MAC Shroom or maybe MAC Mylar for a brighter highlight, I've been doing something really subtle and natural. So I've been using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. This creates a really nice highlight, and more than a highlight, it just sort of evens everything out and just helps you create a nice little blend from your lid shade to your transition up into your brow bone. It just looks really soft and I like it. This is in the shade Light Medium. I think that's called Light Plus now, if I remember correctly. And what I like to do is I put down my main lid color, I like to put this highlight color, and then I like to connect them together with the transition color. So I am going to be using, I love this brush. This is one of my favorites. This is a Sephora Pro Shader number 18. This is so multi-purpose for me, but I'm just going to get a little bit of this on the brush and fill in right under my brow all the way across. And this doesn't have to be too careful because we are going to go back and touch it up with that transition color. So I'm just going to go right under here, and it just evens things out. I get a little bit of redness under here. So I do like to have something there. I don't like to go completely without it, but I just don't want that really bright sort of whitish color highlight anymore. I'm kind of moving away from that a little bit, or I'll do it really, really finely with a very thin brush. So do this on both sides, and you can see it's just very, very subtle, but it does create just enough, I don't know, just enough of a little bit of a highlight there that I think it makes it look nice. And of course it doesn't look very nice right now because we need to add the transition color. Now with this particular look, a color that I tend to always use for my transition colors is Urban Decay Naked. I still really like that for that look, so I'm going to use this today, but I also think this is a really good look to experiment with other things. I wanted to use singles today so that I could talk to you about individual colors that you could buy separately if you wanted them, or you may already have these. I didn't want to get into palettes too much to make it confusing, but I do have some recommendations if you already have some of these palettes. I think a really pretty transition for this would be a combination of light pink and mauve from the Lorac Pro palette. I think mauve's a little bit too deep and light pink's too light, but a combination of those would be a really pretty highlight. I've been kind of into like salmony or natural pink highlights lately. Another suggestion might be Warm Wishes. This is from the It Cosmetics Celebration palette. So if you have this, Warm Wishes might be a good idea, but you can kind of see the look I'm going for here. Just a warm pink. I tried it with a more pale pink and I didn't really like the way that it looked. I felt like even though the shadow has a little bit of cool and warm tones to it, for some reason it just didn't really look like, but a warm pink does look really nice with this. Again, just for simplicity purposes, I'm going to go ahead and use the color I normally use, which is Urban Decay Naked. This is a MAC palette, but I do have this jammed in there because I use it so often. And any blending brush that you like, this is going to be a MAC 217. So I'm just going to get a little bit on there. I've used also for this a really small blending brush. It really just depends if I have more time or less time. This takes a little bit more work, a little bit more blending. This is a Real Techniques brush. This is the Essential Crease brush. I do like it for this, but if I want to make the look a little bit more quick, I think a fluffier brush is best. So I'm, again, just going to connect where I put down the Mineralized Skin Finish color and then the Urban Decay Tease. And I'm just going to go along the edge here. And this is the point where we're also going to be softening out that kind of harsh edge that I brought out with Tease. And I just do like little small circles to bring them together. And I like to blend a lot, so I might edit this a little bit so you don't have to watch all this blending. And then I might actually go back with my crease brush and just to define that a little bit more, my crease, and darken it up with Tease, but for now we'll just do this. Let me do the other side as well. And sometimes I'd like to just blend, kind of evaluate where I'm at, and then go back. So we are actually going to be going out for a date night tonight. We haven't decided if we're doing dinner and a movie or just dinner. We're going to be going to Carrabba's, and then we're talking about seeing The Martian. So that looked like something I thought we would both really like. But I don't know about you, what we tend to do is have these big plans about what we're going to do when we get out. And then we'll eat and we'll overeat and we'll go, oh, we're so full. Let's just go home and watch a show or something. So we actually got rid of cable a couple months ago, and that's gone really, really well, but it has limited a little bit what our choices are here at home. We've really gotten into House of Cards on Netflix. Oh, we love that, but we're really having to stop ourselves from overwatching it, or binge watching it, I should say. We have a really bad habit of wanting to watch multiple episodes of that at one time, and we're going to be so sad when that's over. Okay, I'm going to take what's left on this brush. I've wiped it off just a little bit because I don't really want any more transition color, but I do want to soften this edge out here as well. Let me just wipe that off a little bit more. So I just want to go out here and do this. And I think, like I said before, it will go back and just add a little bit more of the Tease color as well. Okay, so where is that? And I'm going to use a little bit fluffier brush for that. I have to also tell you, I've had a lot of fun getting prepped for this blog sale that's coming up this weekend. I like organizing things and I like getting everything together, so it's been really kind of fun to go through and sanitize everything and clean it all up. And I've also enjoyed getting together some of the packaging for the sale. So I have these little MAC eyeshadow singles that are part of it, and I want to be really careful with those and make sure that they got somewhere safely. So we went to Hobby Lobby yesterday, and I had a lot of fun going through the aisles looking for some little packaging for those, and I can see why people really get into the crafting, the paper crafting and scrapbooking and stuff. There's just so many cute stickers and little stones, and I don't know, there's just so many fun things. I am not creative in that way. I'm not very crafty, but I can see how people could really get into that. I found some really cute little envelopes that I like to put them in to keep them safe. But anyway, I don't know, maybe I would get into something like that because it was an awful lot of fun to look at all those things. Okay, I'm yip-yapping, not really talking about what I'm doing, but I'm just going back. Sometimes when I add my transition color and then the highlight color, it can soften my tease, my color for the lid, and crease a little bit, and I just want to go back and add a little bit of definition with that. So that is all I'm doing here. Now for this look, I have not been adding a darker color to my outer V. You could certainly do that. A dark brown would be really nice. Any sort of espresso color is what I usually gravitate toward. But for everyday, this is all I've been doing. I am just going to go back with a really fluffy brush. This is my MAC 224, and I'm going to blend all this together a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't want to muddy the colors too much, but I do want to make sure up here especially I've got a little bit better blend going, and the same thing on the other side. So I've made this a little bit longer than it has to, but you can see this is just a really easy look, and it goes so well with other things. You can really put any blush or lip color you wanted to with this. I am going to go ahead and now and just apply my liquid eyeliner. So one that I really love for every day is this L'Oreal. This is the Liner Intense in Earth and Rock. This is a really pretty espresso color, so I'm just going to put that on both eyes, and then I'm going to take a little bit of an espresso liner, which I always use the Bobbi Brown color here, espresso, and I'm going to put that over the top just to set the liner a little bit. So let me go ahead and do that. Sorry, I have to lean into my mirror a little bit more when I'm doing this. I cannot see it this far away, so I'm going to bring this up. This is a good shake. I wonder if you all are doing Halloween candy this year. We are. We don't do it every year, but we decided this year with some friends of ours we are going to do it. And they're our neighbors. Sorry, I have to stop talking for just a second. We are going to sit out front of our houses together, so everybody doesn't have to ring the bell. They have a dog, so sometimes that, you know, sets the dog off a little bit. So we thought we'd sit out front and just talk, and we were talking about having dinner together first, and then maybe like just ordering pizza and having pizza and salad or something like that, and sit out front together and just talk with the neighbors and hand out candy. So I thought that might be kind of fun this year. So I like seeing all the kids and their costumes, and they're so excited, and I remember that time in my life. And so let me go ahead and just stop here and do the other eye, because I don't think I'm going to be able to lean in and see that without cutting you out of the picture altogether. My liquid liner is applied. Now I'm going to go back with that espresso shadow that I talked about that I always use. I primarily do this for two reasons. One, it softens my liquid liner a little bit. I don't really like using a pencil. I just feel like it never has worked out for me. My lids are a little bit crepey and it always drags. It's never a smooth line. So what I've really found works out for me is I like to use a liquid liner, then soften it with a matte eyeshadow. So that will soften the line a little bit, but it also keeps the color in place. It really makes it hold all day. It won't transfer to my crease, and it especially won't transfer when I use my eyelash curler. I have a really big problem with that, so I will put on a liquid liner. If I don't set it with my espresso eyeshadow, I will put that down on my lid and it will pull the color right off, and I find that so frustrating. So it only takes me a second. I've really gotten this down, but I use my craft store brush. This is the Grumbacher I've talked about for a long time. I looked at Hobby Lobby yesterday. I still cannot find it there, but this is the 1/4 inch number 794 angle shader. It's got nice stiff bristles and it's a perfect eyeliner brush. I love this thing. I'm going to be really upset if I ever need another one and I can't find it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this color on here, and I'm just going to tap this on. You don't need a lot. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've already got my guideline because of the liquid liner, and I'm just going to tap this in again just to set it and soften it. I poked myself a little bit there. All right, so that is it for the one eye. Let me go ahead and get the other one done. All right, so that is done very quick and simple. I am going to put a little bit of bottom liner on with the shadow color that we use, Tease, on the lid, but I like to do that toward the end after I've put on my concealer. So for now, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation. I usually do mascara toward the end as well. So my everyday foundation is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I've talked about this a lot. This is in the shade Light. It's my favorite. When I'm filming videos, I'm primarily wearing the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. I find that that is the best shade or the best foundation for me on camera. And I like this for just every day. This works well on camera too, but I think the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus is perfect for me. Alright, so let me use, this is my IT Cosmetics Airbrush Foundation. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on and start blending it. I usually don't show my foundation in Get Ready With Me's, but I thought I would today and just chit chat with you a little bit more. My pump is being really, really funny on this. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I usually just start on the lower half of my face. A lot came out at once after I did that. I usually just start down here and then I do the upper half of my face for no particular reason. All right, so here we go. I should also mention, as a public service announcement, if you didn't get the flyer in the mail, Ulta is having the sale right now where hair styling products, I think, are buy two, get one free. So I think it was in my favorites video. I think it was my most recent favorites, or maybe the one before. I told you that I bought some of that Sebastian hairspray, the Shaper Plus, I want to say, in the white can, and I didn't like it at all. I bought it when it was on sale, and I just did not like it one bit. So that was a fail for me. So I went back in to get some more hairspray. I've been using Pureology too, which I really like, but it's a little bit more than I'd like to spend, especially for as quickly as I'm going through it. So yesterday I bought Redken Quick Dry. I think that's number 18. And I talked with one of the sales associates. I also got Redken Guts for a volumizer. Now I've talked to you before about the Alterna Caviar Clinical Daily Densifying Foam. That is my holy grail. I love it. It is, again, pricey. So what I was trying to do was find something that maybe I could use. Maybe I'm not necessarily leaving the house, but I still want to be able to fix my hair, and I want my hair to have, you know, the texture, because it does make it a lot easier to style with that Alterna product. So I want to use something, but I also want to have something to alternate with the Alterna so that I didn't go through it as quickly. So I talked with the sales associate and she recommended this Redken Guts. I had a few different things I was looking at and she kind of helped me determine which one would be best for me. So I'm going to try it out and let you know what I think. Maybe I'll do a review and comparison. I don't know if it's really considered a volumizer. It's just, maybe it is a root lifting foam. I can't remember. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but anyway, I used it today and so far I really like it, but I'm always really careful when I first use something like that. I don't use a lot, so I'm gonna have to kind of mess with it and just see how much or how little I can use and things like that. Alright, so I think that's about it for that. It's sufficiently buffed in. This is a really great little brush. You can kind of get into all the small places, and I also like to clean up the edges of my foundation when I do this. Okay. So I think that's it. I don't really have anything, thankfully, to conceal today. I don't think. I've been getting a lot of redness right here and some breakouts. I've been wearing reading glasses a lot at night for computer work and things, and I'm noticing I'm really breaking out. So I've tried sanitizing and doing all that stuff to them, which seems to be helping, but I don't know. It's still not going away. It's really unusual. I've never broken out right there at the bridge of my nose, but it has to be my glasses. Alright, so I need to apply concealer, and I think I'm just going to use my finger. I don't see a brush. Oh, here's one. Alright, this is another IT Cosmetics brush. This is Airbrush Concealer. Imagine that. So I am using my MAC Match Master Concealer. This is in shade 1.5. This is a nice creamy concealer. Really good match. Lots of different shade options, and it does not settle into lines, and it's creamy, so especially this time of year when your skin might be a little bit more dry, it works really well at keeping this under eye area from getting, mine will get flaky or scaly. More like scaly is probably a better way to put it. Alright, let me just dab that area a little bit where I get a little bit red. Okay, so that is that. Now I'm going to go back and add my lower liner color that I talked about with the Urban Decay Tease. I am actually going to use one of the brushes that I used earlier. This is, as I mentioned, in my multi-purpose brush from Sephora, this little tiny shader. This is a brush that I think everybody needs in their collection. It's great for eyelining, it's great for concealing, it's great for highlighting. I don't know. I just find myself using it, cleaning it, using it again for so many different things. All right, so let me get a little bit more on here. And I think it's hard for me to hold my head still when I'm doing this so far away from the mirror too, for some reason. Okay, so this is just a really soft liner. I don't usually do a really harsh liner under my eyes unless I'm doing some more dramatic smoky look. I like to use the shadow that I used for my lids. I think I might add just a little bit more to it just to increase the intensity just a tiny bit. So my eyes are done with the exception of mascara, which I do like to do toward the end. So I'm going to go ahead and add my setting powder and blush. So this is still my holy grail, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is in dim light. I did want to mention I have Radiant Light, I believe it is, in my blog sale. It's another full size like this. The reason I am doing that is because I still have quite a bit of Radiant Light in my palette, so I didn't want to have you think that I didn't like this anymore. I love this. It's just dim light is my everyday setting powder. The Radiant Light I like to use for a little bit of a deeper bronze color, and I just don't need that extra one. I really bought that full size before I needed it, so I haven't used much of it. All right, so I'm going to be using my Bobbi Brown powder brush for this. And you can use whatever brush you like for your setting powder. This gives me a little bit more control because it does have a tapered head on it. So let's just do this. I love this setting powder so much. It is so flattering and it gives a little bit of warmth, but it still blends seamlessly. It's not the kind of warmth you have to worry about making your skin look orange or not blending in with your neck. It's just so subtle and you're not going to see any shimmer or glitter in the sunlight or anything like that. And I do put this on pretty generously. It doesn't have a cakey look like some powders can, so you really cannot overdo it. I just think it's a beautiful product. I really, really do. This is one of my favorite all-time products for sure. But I still would encourage you to blend it down to your neck. I always do. Alright, so that is good. I brought a whole lot of little baby hairs onto my face doing that. Alright, so I have a tendency to mess up my brows when I do that. Alright, so the blush that I like to wear with this look is one of my favorites for fall and winter. It has a little bit of beiginess to it, a little bit more of a neutral look, which is one of the reasons I really love it. So this is MAC Blush All Day. This has been a long time favorite. I believe it's considered matte, or it might be considered satin. It definitely does not have any obvious shimmer to it. This is from the Pro Longwear collection. It's just one of my go-to fall colors. So I'm going to be using another IT Cosmetics brush. This is my Airbrush Powder Brush. So put a little bit of that on and just very lightly sweep this onto the cheeks. This is a very natural color. Goes with a lot of different lip looks. And I just love it. I've never really gotten compliments, you know, I'm out in person or with friends and family. I've never really gotten compliments on makeup or blush in particular, except when I wear this. So I have people say, your makeup looks really nice today. So it must be a pretty decent color. I just think it looks really, really natural but finished. My blush is applied, so I'm going to go ahead and do my mascara off camera, and then I will come back and finish up the look with some lipstick and liner. Well, now everything is done with the exception of my lip color. So what I've decided to use today is Urban Decay Fiend, which I talked to you about in my favorites video. I just love this color this time of year. I think it's so pretty and it pairs well with a lot of different blush colors and eye looks. It's just really a very multi-purpose color and very flattering, really brightens up your look. And I'm also going to be using MAC Soar lip liner. These two work well together. Another option I have, really any neutral pink lip liner works well. I think this Rimmel London, this is East End Snob. This is a good option as well, but I really like the staying power of this MAC lip liner. So I'm going to go ahead and add that on first. One of you had asked me a while back if I ever draw my lip line straight across and create a fuller lip at the top. I don't do that. My lips have, because the Cupid's bow does go down a little bit, then there's also quite a bit of a dip there. When I've tried doing that straight across, it looks weird. It looks really weird on me. So I just follow the natural lines. And I do have my lips prepped with a little bit of lip balm. All right, and so now let's go ahead with this color. It's just a really pretty rose, neutral rose color. And this is really comfortable. As I mentioned, the drier weather, lips drying out, this is really comfortable to wear all day. And I just got a little bit of that up top here. All right, so that is it. That completes the look. So that is it. That is my not so quick look at how I put together my favorite everyday fall look right now. So I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.